Welcome to Behind the Flag Podcast, sponsored by Get It Right Enterprises. Come on, join the crew and take the field during Friday Night Lights. We will learn from experienced guest presenters and mentors that will help you become a better football official, providing the tools to put you in the correct position to make the right call. Raise your officiating knowledge and strive to become the best football official and expert in National Federation High School rules. Learn the art of film breakdown, mechanics, and philosophies. You know, every year we have an entire off season to get prepared. But in season, you only have one chance to get it right.
The one and only Ken Adent.
Yeah, right. What's going on, Dennis?
It's been a few months. We took some time off. We had a lot of things going on. We've been working on a lot of projects involving Mexico High School football officials. But we're going to try to squeeze in a couple more podcasts between now and the time fall football starts in August.
Mostly shedding off the after effects of that COVID-19 scenario. No, if we all had to put on masks for our spring games, and oh man, what a mess that was. I'm sure glad that's behind us.
Yeah. So speaking of spring games, congratulations to those officials that were able to get on the field and work. I know I had about 4 or 5 high school games here in New Mexico. Congratulations to the New Mexico officials that did the first time ever New Mexico bowl games at the Lobo Stadium, at the University of New Mexico Lobo Stadium, Dream Style Stadium.
Yeah, shout out to the NMAA and the organizers there for getting the privilege and the use of the stadium there at University of New Mexico. I know all the fans and players were pretty stoked about having high school games in that facility. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, that was pretty exciting. So with that, then we rolled right into a bunch of scrimmages, a couple Division II games that we got assigned to here in our region, and just ton of Division II, Division III junior college scrimmages that we were able to get back out in the field and get some snaps, much needed snaps.
Yeah, leading into the summer, which leads into, the August scrimmages for high school and stuff, I highly encourage anybody out there to get any snaps any way you can in the off season, whether it's semi-pro, 7-on-7, heck, whatever, just to see scenarios and keep your mind on football and keep your body in football shape. And we've been calling some semi-pro games here in the Albuquerque region, Santa Fe region, and man, does it help to see snaps and crazy scenarios.
Yeah, why don't you say a little bit about your 7-on-7 league that's going to be starting?
The schedule's still up in the air, but they pushed it back a month. We're looking like July 6 or 7 through July, third week of July. So it's going to be a shortened, 3-week season. We're going to call, I think, Monday through Thursday nights. And instead of 4 games a night, it's going to be 3 games a night. They're pushing them back, so it's a little cooler, like 7, 8, and 9 o'clock at night. So everything's still in the works, but we're still going to have several hundred games. Well, I don't want to exaggerate, probably 150 games to assign, and we'll spread those out to the Albuquerque officials. If anybody outside of Albuquerque wants to come down during the week and call some of those, just get a hold of me or Dennis, and we'll get you a game. Come work with us at night. It's great for deep wings or back judges, and it's not really great for line of scrimmage guys because there's not a whole lot of it's a passing league, obviously. So OPIs, DPIs, push offs, anything deep, covering multiple receivers at the same time. It's good stuff, man. I mean, it's good training. So feel free to contact us if you guys want to come down and call some games.
Yeah, that'll get you starting to work on your off-season conditioning, don't wait till August to get into shape and to shed those pounds. Start since now.
Besides penalties too, it teaches you when you have. There's a lot of fouls in 7-on-7, so you're constantly calling out yard lines. Your penalty administration. When you're working 40 in, you got a lot of half the distance or whatever, and it's just good. You've got timing involved. You've got spot foul, so your flag has to be right. There's nothing bad about 7-on-7. It gets a bad rap because there's no line of scrimmage work, but for back judges and if you guys are working 7-man mechanics in high school, the deep wings get a chance to get in there and get some work in too. And if people show up that want to work, and we only run 2 officials per game, but we can do 2 back judges on each game. So we'll get you in if you guys want to get some work.
Yeah, make a couple dollars each night.
Yeah, we'll spread it around.
So with that, also this is time to get back into the rule book. Look at the new rules that came out. When did that happen? In April, I believe?
Maybe a little earlier, but yeah, right around there.
Yeah, so make sure you freshen up on your new rules for this year, and start working on your diet. And with that, last year we had somebody come on and talk about staying on the field, especially with injuries and getting in your later years in officiating experience with all the injuries and stuff. Her name was April Chassis with Q Science. Get a hold of her if you're still interested by email. It's alchassis@gmail.com or shop myqsciences.com, April Chassis, /April Chassis. Or look her up on our website. There's a link for her there, and she'll get you the supplements that she needs. And there's also, remember David Zetz? He came on and talked about fitness and getting in shape. Gave some good pointers with exercising, with certain exercises, not just exercising in general. But
give him a shot. What's his website?
So it's Referee Advantage, David Zetz. Type that in and he'll pop right up and see what he has to offer you. But he was on last year also. He gave a little over an hour webinar training with proper techniques and things that officials should be using to stay on the field, stay on the court, or whatever sport that you're officiating. But that's where you start.
Yep.
Right now in the off season. Don't wait till August to get in the gym.
Hey, before I forget, there was we got an email last week that New Mexico High School Football Official of the Year was announced. And go ahead, I'll give the drum roll.
Yeah, congratulations to Todd Morris out of Clovis, New Mexico. The Clovis group. He was named the 2021 NFHS New Mexico High School Official of the Year. So good honor.
Yeah, he's a good guy too. Todd does a lot of work in the Clovis area, well, statewide really, because he's not afraid to jump in and do lead rules webinars or work with any of the regions that Dana Pappas asked him to work for. So Todd is always hands-on and he's a damn good official too, so he deserves it. Well, good job, Todd.
Yeah, great job. Which leads me into, if you want to give the little story of what happened with when I was sending a text message out. Not very many times.
Yeah, this guy, Dennis, was getting a hold of one of the local officials to do something, but he ended up texting an NFL referee. I'm going to drop his name, Brad Rogers, instead by mistake. The other official's name was Rogers as well, so he sends NFL referee a text, Brad Rogers, and Brad actually responds immediately and didn't call him any names or anything for mixing him up. He was actually let him off the hook pretty easy. But go ahead and
so I sent out a text. Hey, get a crew of 5 officials together and come up to our camp in Santa Fe to call some high school football. And of course, when I realized I texted the wrong Rogers, it was too late. He had already responded and said, "Oh, man, I almost had my crew together." But so
yeah, I don't think my NFL crew is going to come down to your high school camp. Is what he should have texted back, but he didn't. He was cool about it.
Yeah, no, he was ready to come call games and bring some of the high schools from his local area to come in and help him out. But
that's stinking funny. That guy is so cool.
Though. Which last year he used our behind the flag coin to flip in the Dallas Cowboys game. I think there's a little recording of it. If not, I'll put it up on our website. But he used our coin for one of the games last year, and then mailed it back to me with a little note on letterhead from the NFL saying that this was an official NFL coin used in a game. So that was cool.
I got to be honest, man. If I was an NFL referee, I don't know if I'd be as humble as him. That guy is so humble. He is willing to help anybody who reaches out to him at any level, high school, college, whatever. Just an amazing human being.
Yeah, and he actually came and did a Zoom and a podcast for us last year, one of the first ones, and he gave a pretty good class and really helped us out and get us started and get his name out there, which led us into guys like Sean Hockley and Scott Novak and all the other guys to follow him to help us. But if you're interested to see what he had to say, just go back and find his webinar either on our YouTube page, Behind the Flag YouTube page, or on our website. And it's a great course. He gives you a lot of nuggets and talks about a lot of philosophies and how to officiate a football game. Not just high school, but just a football game in general.
Before we start talking about upcoming opportunities and what's happening later on this summer, the American Samoa Officials Association, give us a little history of how we got connected with these guys, and the relationship you've developed with these guys out there in American Samoa.
So a few years ago, Ken and I, we took a crew. There was 5 or 6 of us that went up to Front Range football camp in Greenlee, Colorado. Front Range is, of course, a high school camp, but all the guys up there that teach and run that camp are mostly RMAC officials. And, of course, they bring in other clinicians from other areas. But I was actually we were at the university there in the cafeteria, and I ran into this guy standing next to me, and his name was Sai. And
he's a large individual, by the way.
From America Samoa.
Yeah.
And so we just hit it off. We ended up having lunch together, exchange email addresses, and I ended up hearing from him. His association was short on rule books, and so I was able to gather about 15 rule books, case books, and mechanics books, some other training materials, and mail them out to his association a couple years ago. And so that started off kind of like a, not really sponsorship, but a relationship.
Yeah.
Dana Pappas and Lena Moye graciously donated some more books the following year. So I sent them out again last year. And so we just kind of been sending training materials and rule books to the football officials, America Samoa. It's a U.S. territory. They're way out in the Pacific. And we've just been in contact, on a monthly basis of just rules and just things that he's seen and our take on it. And if we could get him answers on philosophies and just kind of casebook kind of stuff that he couldn't find. And weird plays that happen on his football field.
yeah, it's just so cool that we could, help another region with, information and books and anything we can do to help them. If there's anybody else around, whoever's listening, I mean, we're in like 48 states and, a bunch of countries. If anybody else needs help, reach out to us. We got people here in New Mexico and Albuquerque primarily that, want to help other people with whatever we can do to help. I mean, our region, we've got, a little over 100 officials here in the central region, Albuquerque.
Yeah, I believe so. And about 300 and 350. I don't know how many is registered in the state, but
yeah. So that if there's a group out there that needs, rule books or whatever, if we can help you, we will. So just reach out to Dennis or myself. Behind the Flag website.
That's www.behind-the-flag.com.
Yeah, we'd love to hear from you. We'd love to help you guys.
So, also we'd like to thank Rule 11, the other podcast, NCAA podcast. They are a monthly donator to us, I guess. Financially, they send us money every month to help us keep this thing going. So we appreciate that. Get It Right Training Enterprises, Bob Arnone, continues to help with his software and his, training platform, because in August he's confirmed that he's going to come to our camp in Santa Fe and bring all his training booth and his virtual reality headset. So we really appreciate that.
Yeah, so we've mentioned our camp a couple times, but there's other camps here in the state of New Mexico that we want to make sure we give a shout out to for training opportunities coming up in August. I'll talk about the one down south. Southern New Mexico Football Officials Camp, August 13th and 14th, down in Las Cruces, New Mexico. You can find more information on the NMAA's website. I think
it's listed on Arbiter.
It's on Arbiter too? Okay. Yeah. I've never been to that one, but I understand it's a good camp for the South to take advantage of.
I think this is their third year of that camp.
Okay. Do they have that at high schools, or are they having it at
I believe that's I think they're holding that one at the university, I believe. Cool. I'm not sure.
Good for them.
New Mexico State University.
So, and then obviously the long-time running camp here is Ken Murphy's camp, football officiating camp, August 10th through the 12th. So that's a midweek camp. And, Ken's been doing that for a long time. I mean, that's where I went to. I went to that camp 3 years in a row to learn the basics. And it's a good camp. He has a lot of scrimmages, classroom time.
I think he's at 3 different stadiums.
Yeah.
Through that week. And I think this year is still probably the classroom's going to be held at the NMAA's office.
Cool.
So, and with that,
then is the we did a Behind the Flag. We did a virtual camp. What was it?
Last August.
Last August, yeah. It's because obviously everything was shut down. So we had a bunch of crews, and we did as much as we could virtually. But we're excited that we actually put a live camp together, and I'll let Dennis start the introduction on that one.
Yeah. So this year the camp's going to be held in Santa Fe. It's going to be August 13th, 14th, and 15th. Of course, all our clinicians will be back again from last year, this year with some added guys to help. Like Todd Morris will come in from Clovis and help out. Actually, he was hired this year also as a full-time college official. Won't say which conference, but he was hired. We're going to have Mike Contreras, which is now a replay official from the Mountain West, come down and help with film breakdown. And then, of course, our special guest, Dana, JP, Marietta, Dusty Young, and Nate will come in as part of the NMOA's office and give their welcoming speech and the regular stuff before all camps from the directors from the NMOA's office. And of course, Bob Arnone will be there from Get It Right. He's coming in from Huntsville, Alabama, and he's bringing his training platform with them to put officials on the field virtually with the headset and get some training by a mentor of what their keys are, where they need to be looking during certain plays before they even get on the film. It should be a pretty interesting training booth.
We've got several regional assigners coming in to either bring in their own 5-person crew or
and with that our intent with inviting the regional assigners is because this year it's mandatory to attend one camp out of 3 years. 1 out of 3 years, so you have to go to a camp in the state of New Mexico every 3 years, at least 1 year attend a camp to be playoff eligible. And so the Northeast regional assigner, Southeast, and Northwest regional assigners will be at this camp, so that way they could take a look at their officials on the field and kind of do a little evaluation of their own officials. But our camp will also do a evaluation of each official, and the officials attending the camp will actually leave with a NMOA or a behind the flag evaluation to give to their assigner and to have for their own personal development plan.
We have 3 Division I officials that are
4.
Yeah, 4. Excuse me. Yeah, that pretty much are leading. Well, obviously, Dennis is the one who's doing 95% of all the organizing for this camp, but they're taking over as lead clinicians, and I'd like it if you gave them a shout out because
Abram Anaya is a center judge from Mountain West. Joseph Martinez, side judge from Mountain West. Mike Contreras, replay official from Mountain West Conference, and then Victor Sanchez is a field judge from Conference USA. And there's a list of plenty of other clinicians on the website from other conferences that are coming in to help train the high school officials that attend this camp. So we have a lot of scrimmages. So also this year, New Mexico high school officials are required to do 2 scrimmages before the season starts as part of their regular season. It's eight meetings this year plus 2 scrimmages to meet your requirements through the NMOA's office as a varsity official.
I don't care whether you're a first year or 12th year high school football official. You've got to go to a camp. You've got to get snaps. You've got to get the most recent updated mechanics. Leave with 2 or 3 tidbits that'll make your season so much more enjoyable. It's just having, getting the most updated information. For me, it's just pre-snap routine, thought process. I mean, that's the kind of stuff that's really, plus classroom and rules knowledge and all that. But for me, it's pre-snap routine and having your brain ready to go, play after play after play, clock status and ball status. And
camps are where you improve, where you make your mistakes, where you have your mentor there, your crew mentor, your on-field clinician, tell you what you did wrong, but most importantly, telling you how to fix it and do it right. And the next time you see that type of play, so
spend a few bucks; it's worth it. These camps are cheap, by the way. I mean, I think the most expensive camp might be $100, $125. I mean, come on, it's compared to college camps of $800, $900, $1,000. It's nothing. Show up, go to a camp.
Yeah, and our registration link for our camps on our website also. But I think Dana's blasted that out with the link with the other 3 camps in one of her weekly emails.
Yeah, and a few people in southern Colorado or Utah, if you guys want to come to, it's not just for New Mexico guys. We'll bring a 5-man crew or whatever, or come by yourself. We'll find room for you. We're not just limited to New Mexico officials. It's anybody who wants to show up. And
yeah, these are NFH rules and NFA mechanics and philosophies. Of course, your philosophies are what your assigner, your individual states or associations wants you to call, but this is all geared towards NFHS rules, casebook, and mechanics. 5-man mechanics.
So we've got plenty of teams lined up for scrimmages, and we're going to be videotaping campers and having film breakdown. And
there'll be a detailed agenda going out to the registered participants closer to the camp. And
yeah, I'm just trying to get their attention. This is going to be a full service camp.
Yeah, but before the camp even starts, we are going to start with our regular season summer training sessions of our video NFH quizzes that we usually have been sending out the last couple of years. You want to talk a little bit about that and give a little bit of background of how that started and the help of Esteban Baca from Santa Fe.
Yeah, make sure that before, I'll go ahead and give the background, but make sure people know how to, outside our region can grab these video quizzes and use in their groups. Yeah. But we were driving back from a scrimmage at Western New Mexico University. Silver City. And we're just in the truck, talking about how each region in New Mexico is very spread out geographically. And everybody was kind of doing their own thing. There wasn't really like a central study program or quizzes. Everybody was kind of on their own, and Esteban Baca in Santa Fe was in the back seat, and he's like, I got this program where we can, do these video questions, and what do you guys think about, so he passed his phone around and kind of showed Dennis, and, I'm driving, and it was, and that's how it was born. So I think in 2019, we started sending out these video quizzes. It's just 4 or 5 or 6 videos with a, obviously a foul in the video, and then you have multiple choice on, how to answer the rules, and it's just really cool. It's really helpful. Plus, when you see the foul on the field, you can relate to it instead of just reading the question and trying to answer it. So
right, and as soon as you answer that question, hit submit, it gives you instant feedback of whether you're correct or incorrect, and the rules reference right in there with whatever rule it was, maybe the casebook ruling on it, but it's strictly rules based, and it gives you the quizzes. I think we're a big hit because people are starting to ask for them again this year, and we're gonna start that June 15th ish, depending on when we get the 5 in, and Esteban gets that in his program and sent over to us, and we blast that out.
Yeah, we obviously we don't do anything without permission from the New Mexico Athletic Association, Dana Pappas, and she gave us her blessing again to start up with these, and so we'll be getting these out shortly. I think the first one's going to be on targeting, and Esteban already agreed to jump back in, so we're going to be. You guys outside the region, man. You guys should other states, other countries, whatever. These are gold, man. I don't know why people aren't stealing these from us and using it in their groups. It's nobody else in the country's doing this. Nobody else in the country's doing half the stuff we do.
The last 2 years when we were sending these out, we were just sending them out strictly to registered New Mexico football officials, and they were used in their weekly meetings, regional meetings. But this year we're going to make them available on our website. Just the link will be sent, and then anybody can find them on our website.
And if you guys are really hungry, Dennis talked about Rule 11 podcast earlier. I mean, they talk, mostly college, but a lot of it stuff pertains to high school officiating as well. And so
philosophies in general. They don't talk about high school rules or anything like that. It's just a lot of it's a philosophy, but it's all geared NCAA rules and
Yeah, but if you're not getting enough football,
Yeah.
get on their podcast and you can, fill your football data bank up. Good stuff. What else is happening?
So I think that's all on my agenda. Again, just get out there, get some snaps somewhere, get on the scrimmage field, get with your mentors, get a text group together with your crew, and just start talking football rules since now, and just send out a random football question to your high school crews that you've been working with last year, and just start that conversation up since now. Because before you know it, August will be here. I mean, we're at about 65 to 70 days before the season starts.
Yeah, and with COVID last year, a lot of people didn't get the football fix and the proper amount of snaps. So I think we really need to do a better job of preparing for this 2021 season coming up. So not a bad idea to get things started now.
Yep, and I think with that, we appreciate you again supporting us. There's been a lot of activity on the podcast the last few weeks with people going back and watching and listening to the old podcast from last year. We're going to start looking at some other topics and clinicians coming in and doing some more training. There was just a lot of stuff that were going on with a weird schedule with the spring season for us, and going from one sport to the other, back to back, with overlaps of a couple weeks. That's why we've been out of pocket a little bit with what we've been doing online, but we've been working behind the scenes to prepare ourselves and our crews and the officials in New Mexico to get ready for August. And again, thank you and good luck on the field.